How do you get live external data into your custom HubSpot UI extension? We're diving deep into that, building an essential Next.js backend that enables powerful API integrations. Did you catch the last video in this series? We're building a global contact availability public app card that takes the guesswork out of knowing if it's a good time to call a contact by showing their current availability. In the last video, we successfully broke down OAuth 2.0, securely installed our public app card onto a developer test account, and saw our UI extension card live within the CRM. So in this video, we're going to be building out the essential Next.js backend for our public app, creating the API endpoint that will power our contact availability feature. We'll explore the API, navigate our endpoints using Postman, and finally deploy our entire backend solution to Vercel. Hey, I'm Bree, a developer advocate here at HubSpot, and let's jump right in. Next.js is a full-stack React framework that enables us to build robust web applications, but it's particularly useful to us because it supports API routes, allowing us to build quickly. These API routes allow you to create server-side API endpoints directly within your Next.js project, meaning you can write Next.js code that runs securely on a server and not in the user's browser. Now, it's important to note, public app cards built with UI extensions don't strictly require a Next.js backend. You can build your backend with any technology or service that you prefer. The key is to make sure that your chosen backend exposes an endpoint that can be securely accessed by your UI extension. So for the sake of this tutorial and streamlining our development process, using Next.js for a backend provides a fantastic and unified developer experience. So let's hop over to the console, and in the root of our project, we're going to install Next.js by running npx create next app at latest. When you run this command, it quickly scaffolds the Next.js project for you, providing key directories like app for both your front-end routes and your server-side API routes, public for static assets, styles for styling, and essential configuration files such as the next config and package.json. Now, let's create our first API route. So inside of the source app API directory, we're going to create a new folder called hello, and within it, we're going to create a file called route.ts. In Next.js, any file inside of app/API that exports HTTP methods like get or post automatically become API endpoints. This code defines a basic Next.js API route that responds to GET requests. When somebody accesses the API/hello endpoint, the GET function is executed, returning our simple hello message. Now we want to validate that this simple API route works, and we're going to do that with Postman. If you haven't heard of it before, Postman is an API platform that simplifies every stage of the API lifecycle, from design to testing. For us, it's a handy tool for sending various types of HTTP requests to our API endpoints and inspecting the responses. This also allows us to quickly confirm that our APIs are working as expected, debug any issues, and even organize our requests into collections for future use and collaboration. Now, when working with HubSpot's APIs, the HubSpot Postman Workspace is an excellent resource. You'll find collections to help you get started with HubSpot's APIs, explore common HubSpot developer use cases, and leverage the new Flows workspace, which makes it easy to test and automate multi-step API flows. Now we're going to set up a new workspace for HTTP requests, send off the request to the hello route on your development server. This will typically be localhost 3000, but be sure to confirm the port that your project is currently running on. We can see that once we run our request, the response is the hello route text that we previously defined. So we've created and tested our simple hello world API route, and that's a great start. But the real power comes when we build an API that provides meaningful, actionable data. So now let's talk about the heart of our public app card, the Contact Global Availability API, its specific requirements, and most importantly, why we've designed it this way. This API is what our UI extension card will call to get all of its smart insights that it needs. If you'd like to deep dive into the code and see more how this works yourself, make sure that you visit the link in the description to check out the GitHub repo where all of this code is hosted. At its core, our API needs to return 3 main pieces of information for any given contact. We need the current local time in the contact's time zone, their availability status, whether it's a good time to call them right now, along with a recommendation for the best time to call if it's not currently a good time to call, and finally, a list of upcoming public holidays within the next 30 days in their location. To determine that crucial availability status, we've set up a specific set of conditions and priorities. The API will consider a contact's current location, whether their local time falls between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on a Monday through Friday, and if it's a public holiday. Now, these conditions lead to very distinct outcomes handled in a specific order of importance. Here's how the availability logic is prioritized. The highest priority is a public holiday. If it's a national holiday, we mark them as unavailable regardless of the time of day. Next, if it's a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, they're unavailable. Only then, if it's a weekday and not a holiday, do we check to see if it's inside of business hours, 9 to 5 locally, or if it's off hours, which is outside of 9 to 5. And if it's not a good time to call, our API won't just tell you they're unavailable, it'll intelligently calculate and provide the specific date and time of the next best opportunity to reach out. Let's take a look at some of the files and the structure for this API. First, we have route.ts. Now, this is going to be our central command center for our API. It's where all of the pieces come together. It accepts a contact's location from HubSpot and orchestrates our external APIs and feeds all that raw data into custom logic to determine availability. It's also where we've handled input and error validation, which are crucial to any API. Next, we have the Abstract Timezone API.ts. Now, this file wraps our first external API, the Abstract Timezone API. This is a free API that allows us to get both the time zone information and the current local time for a specific location in just one API call. This really simplifies things on our backend compared to chaining multiple requests together. Just remember that this does need an API key, so I will leave the link in the description below where you can grab yours. And when we have that API key, we're going to secure it inside of an environment file. Next, we have our Nager.Date API. So we're integrating with the Nager.Date API for public holidays. We've also done a little bit of filtering here. Since the Nager.Date API gives us all public holidays for the year, we've built in extra logic to filter results to specifically give us only the public holidays that are going to come up within the next 30 days. Next, we have the ISO to country code utility file. So this file may seem small, but it is solving a very common practical problem with our integration. So HubSpot often may give us the full country name, but many external APIs, like our Nager.Date API, will require a 2-letter ISO country code. And this utility is built mainly to convert those names to codes, showing a simple and effective way to handle data transformations when integrating with different systems. Next, we have our contact-availability-util file. This is where the intelligence of our card truly lives. The determine availability status function is the real brain here, and this is where we prioritize logic to see if someone is in office, off hours, on a weekend, or on a public holiday. And the truly valuable part comes when calculating the next best time to call. This means our API doesn't just tell you, no, it's not a good time to call, but it tells you when a good time to call is, making it super actionable for our users. Now, let's jump back over to Postman and see how this works. Our route currently lives on our local server and uses URL parameters to grab the city, state, and country from a contact. So let's see how this works with a few different locations. In Boston, it's currently a little late, and we can see that it is not the best time for calling. So we can also see that we have a recommendation to call tomorrow at 9 a.m. And we can also see that we have a public holiday on the horizon. Now, if we move to another spot like London, we can see that it's still very early there, and we definitely don't want to be calling around 4 a.m. But in this instance, we recognize that Friday is still a suitable workday and there's no public holiday. So the recommendation is to call today at 9 a.m. If we fly over to Tibet, China, we can see that it's a weekday, we're within business hours, and it isn't a public holiday. So the recommendation is to call right now. And lastly, if we fly just a little bit further into the future, we can look at Japan and we can see that it's within business hours, but it's a Saturday. So we get a weekend status, and our recommendation is to call on Monday morning. Our API looks good, but we're going to want to be able to access it from anywhere, and that's where deployment comes in. Today, I'm going to show you how to deploy a Next.js project to Vercel, and by doing so, we'll get a production-ready endpoint that we can provide to our public app card. If you've never heard of it, Vercel is a cloud platform for developers specifically optimized for Next.js applications. It automates deployment, provides global scalability, and offers a good developer experience, making it incredibly easy to take your web projects live. You can sign up for a free Vercel account, which is more than enough for our project's needs. And the registration process is very straightforward. So before we head over to Vercel's UI, we need to run one crucial command in our Next.js project. We're going to run npm build. This command compiles and optimizes our entire Next.js application for production, generating the optimized code and static assets that Vercel will deploy. In this case, we don't have any static assets, but it's helpful to catch any linting errors. Next, we want to make sure that our project has been pushed to a GitHub repo, which makes the project setup even easier. Once your repo is pushed, we're then going to head over to the Vercel UI, and we're going to create a new Vercel project. You may need to authenticate your GitHub account with Vercel if you haven't already done so, and this provides Vercel with access to your GitHub repos. Once your repo is selected, you're going to need to make sure that the entry point for your Vercel project is correct. Now, in this instance for this tutorial, we have a couple of different projects inside of the repo, so it's important to set the contact-availability-backend directory as the entry point for the Next.js portion of our project. Then we're going to need to add our API key as a secret, and we'll deploy. This is going to give you a live view of your project. Now, the UI will not be the most exciting because we didn't change anything with the UI, but this is also where you're going to be able to see everything from the status of your deployment to the build logs to the runtime and observability metrics. Now, for the sake of this project, we're going to grab that live URL it's given us from the deployment, and we are going to head back over to Postman. I'm going to duplicate the workspace that I had previously for our local development, and I'm going to replace the prefix of that with our new URL. And providing that everything is successfully deployed and configured, we should be able to see the same successful result minus a little bit of a time difference in current time, which we currently do. This means our public app card is almost there. We've tackled local development for your app card, set up OAuth, and today we built out the essential Next.js backend for our app card. We've explored core concepts of Next.js API routes and why it's so beneficial for securely exposing backend logic to UI extensions. We've designed our contact availability API, detailing its required outputs and the prioritized logic for determining a contact's availability. We then leveraged Postman to validate our API endpoints, even taking a quick look at the useful HubSpot Postman Workspace. Finally, we put it all together by deploying our Next.js Backend to Vercel, ensuring that our API is accessible from anywhere, and then validated its live functionality with Postman. In our next video, we're going to bring all of our hard work together, and we're going to connect our newly deployed API to the public app card using HubSpot.fetch, and then use HubSpot UI extensions to craft a full contact availability card that will live directly on a contact record in the HubSpot CRM. For the docs, the GitHub repo, for the code for all of this project, and more, be sure to check the link in the description below. To make sure that you're in the know for videos just like this and others for HubSpot developers, make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and have notifications turned on so you're the first to know when a new video drops. Until next time,